What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're once again talking about a bunch of recent Destiny news, and we're running up everything that's gone on so far. We're going to be talking about some mystery virus that's spreading in the Crucible, a bunch of new exotic perks that confirm a bunch of new exotics we're getting in Rise of Iron, and also a couple new teaser shots of the raid as well we got in a recent Rise of Iron trailer. So firstly, let's talk about this virus which has gone down, which you probably noticed if you played Destiny at all today. So essentially there are 5 different virus types, and they're spread through killing people or getting supers, picking up orbs, but they're viruses that spread it throughout your characters. When you get one, your character will be glowing. As you can see, my character right here has got Brilliance 3.2 and is glowing green because that's the color coordination for that virus. There's also Glory 2.1, which is white. There's Splendor 2.6, which is yellow or gold. There's also Magnificence 2.0, which is blue, and finally Fortitude 3.1, which is purple. So funnily enough, it actually matches the colors of the engrams, but these are viruses that spread, and they appear to be something to do with SIVA and Rasputin. It's a kind of mysterious way for Bungie to tease us and get us hyped for Rise of Iron, and it's going to some way interlink with the story, and of course going to progress throughout the days and probably get bigger and better. And it's a very cool kind of marketing campaign to kind of build the hype and get people trying to solve clues and mysteries and see what is going on with the SIVA virus. There's also, of course, a website which you often have with ARGs, which is called owlsector.bungie.net, and there you'll find a full map showing a bunch of different locations and also information about the different viruses, and also little bios for each virus that give you bits of information about each one, and it's kind of piecing together the puzzle, learning a little bit about the backstory and the actual meaning behind where they come from, and eventually, of course, we'll figure out what they mean, and of course, before Rise of Iron launches, it'll probably come full circle. But so far, it's a really cool little campaign, and of course, the buff itself gives you increased reputation gains and XP, so pretty cool to get that. Not sure how long they'll last, but if you haven't yet, and if you want to get one of these buffs or viruses, you can hop into Crucible games or private matches as well, and killing people and picking up their orbs and doing that kind of activity will spread the virus to yourselves, and that will give you one of the glowing heads and also a little bit of a rep boost. So definitely hop in and try and figure it out and try and spread the viruses and see what happens. And leave a comment down below with what virus you guys currently have or viruses, because you can get multiple. I'd be interested to see what everyone actually has in their character. So next up, let's talk about exotics. So as it turns out, a bunch of the exotic perks were found within the database of Destiny. It appears that one of the recent updates for Destiny has added all of them into the game. So essentially all of the exotics we're getting in Rise of Iron are now been snuck into the Destiny code, and they're hidden there waiting for us, but we can actually extract the perks. And by looking at them, we can see, of course, what the exotics are going to be in the expansion. So as it turns out, of course, we can see the normal ones we can expect that we know of, like the Vostok, the Trespasser, the Nemesis Star, and also all the Iron Lord artifacts. Essentially any new perk that isn't existing currently in the game. So of course, these are all going to be attached to the new stuff. And on top of that, there's also the 7 exotic armor pieces that were cut from Taken King. These are the ones that we saw in trailers on Guardians that we thought would be coming in Taken King, but Bungie actually pulled them back and decided not to release them, and we've seen them in the Bungie.net armory for a while. They're recently removed, but of course now the perks are in the game, so we can assume they're all going to be coming in Rise of Iron and going to be fully available. You can see the 7 on screen right now. The Astrocyte Verse, which is a Warlock helmet, the Shinobu's Vow, which is a Hunter gauntlet, the Ophidian Aspect, which is the Warlock gauntlets, and finally the gauntlets for the Titan, which are the Thagamizers, and also 3 boots, the Frosties for the Hunter, the Transversive Steps for the Warlock, and the Doom Marchers for the Titan. So those are the exotic pieces, and because their perks are now within the code of Destiny, we can assume they're all going to be coming in Rise of Iron. Now on top of that, those weren't the only exotics that were found. We also finally have the Solar and Void Thunderlord. Those perks from the game are the negative rounds and also the incendiary rounds, which link to those Thunderlord versions. Again, something we saw in Taken King trailers, but turned out not to be in the Taken King. And the final thing is a 10th exotic, and this is that microphone rocket launcher. We're finally getting that thing because both of its perks are in the game, which are Dubious Munitions and Dubious Ordnance, which of course both belong to this Arc rocket launcher. Of course, Luke Smith did confirm a long time ago that this has been cut from the Taken King. A lot of people assume that that meant it had been deleted full stop and removed from Destiny, but it just meant it had been cut from the Taken King, and of course it'd be reworked at a later time, and it turns out Rise of Iron is that time. And it also does look very Fallen inspired, so it does kind of make sense for getting it in the Rise of Iron. No idea how it will be obtained, probably through some kind of quest, maybe a raid exotic, but once again, because the perks are in the game, we now know that will be coming in Rise of Iron. And also on top of that, we have the SIVA Swarm Pulse Rifle, and funnily enough, we have 2 perks that correspond to it. The first one is enemies that take repeated damage from this weapon spawn SIVA nanites that attack other enemies, and Fallen take extra damage. So the Fallen taking extra damage sounds a bit like a raid perk to me, so it does seem a lot more likely that this SIVA Pulse Rifle could be the raid exotic, but we're still yet to find out exactly how you get this thing. And there's also another perk called Precision Kills, release a nanite swarm that attack other enemies. So very interesting stuff right there. Maybe there are two different weapons that have the two different perks, or maybe one is an old version, but one of them is you have to damage enemies and it spawns that SIVA, pretty much wolf pack round. Another one is you need precision kills to spawn it. But either way, it looks crazy, and I have everything I really want to know more about this weapon, how you get it, and if it's as good as it looks, because so far it looks literally like a SIVA firing Wolfpack round pulse rifle, which just looks incredible. And speaking of that weapon, we actually got another glimpse of it in the recent Destiny trailer, which is actually the full Rise of Iron launch trailer for the game, and we got another glimpse of it in action. It looks so cool. And once again, they get a precision shot and a bunch of SIVA swarm bursts out and attacks the enemy nearby. So pretty much the SIVA Wolfpack rounds again. But this time you can also see the weapon being reloaded. You can see just how fast it is. Of course, in the last trailer we saw, it does have the Outlaw perk, so that is why it reloads so fast. But again, this weapon looks too good to be true. It's basically got Wolfpack rounds on every single headshot. It's like a super Firefly and also Outlaw. So this weapon just looks so good, and I want to know more about it. But so far, Bungie's being very cryptic, and they even hid the heads-up display on this shot. So maybe there's more info we could find out about it. But that is another look at that exotic SIVA pulse rifle. So if we continue to go through the trailer, we can spot a couple extra cool things. We get to see the machinist once again. We still don't know what is the deal with this guy. Is he a raid boss? Is he a story boss? We haven't seen anything to do with him, so he's very mysterious. We also get to see what is most likely the raid machine gun and that Iron Banner auto rifle being used against Sepiks. We can see it in first person view. We can see some Guardians about to go into the raid, and two of them have the Trials of Osiris fusion rifle on their backs. That is a look at that weapon. And there's also the auto rifle being used in first person. We can see what that looks like. And then finally we can see a bunch of shots of the raid. We can see how the armor appears to glow in the dark in this really cool section. Looks like a SIVA server room, but they're running through it and their armor is like lighting up in the dark. Looks really awesome. And there's also a shot with this like stage and the massive light in the middle. No idea what's going on here, but again we can see the 6 Guardians, very cryptic. But so far the raid is looking very strange. The geometry and the way the buildings and rooms are set up looks so strange with the lighting and the way things are shaped. And the final shot is, of course, the Death Zamboni on top of the wall, where they're running away from it or running towards it. We can see a bunch of Guardians decked out in cool armor, notably the Hunter, who is wearing that Trials armor with a different shade we've never seen before. And the final shot shows 3 Guardians with the Iron Lord armor. You can see the flaming effects, which is awesome as well. So that is a roundup of everything that's been going down recently in Destiny. That virus that seems to be spreading around in Crucible, a couple new exotics we know are coming to Rise of Iron, and of course also the launch trailer. All 3 will be linked in the description, the actual viral teaser campaign website, also the Rise of Iron launch trailer, and also the Reddit post showing all the exotic perks of weapons. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, a like rating would be much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we've got a ton more videos on the way, and of course Rise of Iron is just around the corner. We've got not long to wait now, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.